So, if you've ever spent time in the UU or RU tier, you've probably come across Aggron, the steel type that looks more like a Robo-Godzilla than an actual Pokemon. But you've also come across several different kinds of Aggrons, all of them based around his high 180 defense and his relatively high health. But that got me thinking, how can I make this really stupid? Wait, you have an idea. You can't be serious. Okay. So, when you look at Aggron's stats, you do see that he does have a high defense, but he also has a relatively high attack stat. So, what we're going to go with here is working with Aggron's already bulky defensive stats, investing into his attack and his speed, and pretty much turning our giant steel Hummer into a giant steel cruise missile. Doing this and stacking a choice scarf gives him about a speed of 327. Comparing this to, let's say, Absol, who has a decent max speed of 273, and Houndoom with 317, you see that Choice Scarf Aggron does actually outspeed a lot of the prominent threats in the tier. Not really sure how that works in a practical situation, because that sounds kind of terrifying if it moves that fast. But we'll let bygones be bygones. So, let's start talking the good, the bad, and let's be honest, the Aggron. This thing looks like a dinosaur did the nasty with the washing machine. First, we have the good. Basically, to anyone who sees this, especially in a tier like RU, they will not expect an Aggron to be very fast, let alone be able to outspeed most of their sweepers. The big element of surprise is about the one thing you're going to have going for you. Also, with the base attack stat of 110, its attack stat is relatively close to a couple of other physical sweepers in the tier. Also, with Sturdy, you will be able to avoid one-hit KO attacks from the common fighting, ground, water type attacks in the tier. Next, we'll go ahead and go with the bad. The big drawback here is the fact that you'll be locked into one ability, and that's kind of self-explanatory as to why that's bad. The big thing that also you have to worry about is hazards, since they can break your Sturdy, and then if you get hit by anything, it'll one-hit KO you more than likely, since you don't have any investment into defenses with this build. It's also worth mentioning that just because you're faster than a couple of the prominent threats in the tier does not mean you're faster than all of them. The two big ones that will outspeed you pretty much every time are Excelgor and Jolteon. So, you're still here? Alrighty then, we'll start talking about kind of teams Aggron can call home. The big thing to remember is that your Aggron has to be treated as a sweeper more than anything else. So you're going to want to start backing up its weaknesses. In the RU tier, Jellicent can take both the fighting type moves because it's immune, the water type moves because of water absorb, and the ground type moves because it resists it pretty well. So the two do complement each other really well. Also, the more hazards you set up to weaken opposing Pokemon coming in, and the more hazards you can keep off your side of the field, the better. Momentum's also something that's very important, because the more momentum you have, the better chance you are to get a clean switch into Aggron, and the better chance your opponent has to make a mistake. This can mean the difference between a nice sweep or getting laughed at in chat. So, should you play Physical Sweeper Aggron? I'll let you decide. I'll see you next week with a new stupid creation. I am Sir Doge, thank you for watching, and I will see you on Showdown.